Hello friends, welcome to this episode of Science for Common Man. And today's question is, how aeroplanes fly? Well, the standard answer is, aeroplanes fly due to the aerodynamic force called lift generated by the pressure difference caused across the surface of an aerofoil as a consequence of Bernoulli's equation. Well, this answer is perfectly right, but what I am going to tell you is also right, and I am not going to use any of those words. Let's go. See what happens to the lower part of the paper when I move it like this. Yes, it gets lifted, and the lifting stops as soon as I stop moving it. Why does it happen? This medium through which I am moving this paper is full of air molecules. When I move this paper, the surface of the paper is hitting the air molecules and throwing them out of their way. When we hit somebody, we will also feel a force back. So, the air molecules, while being thrown away, exert a force on the paper back and the paper is lifted. This force, due to the hitting of air molecules in a surface of defined area, is what we call as pressure. Let's see what happens when such a shape is moved through the medium. The air molecules hit the top and bottom surfaces and exert forces. In this surface, they exert a force in this direction, and this force is equivalent to two forces like this, one in horizontal direction and one in vertical direction. And in the top surface, the force exerted is like this, and it is equivalent to these two forces. Unfortunately, the two forces in vertical direction cancel each other, and what remains is only forces in the horizontal direction which oppose the movement. Now, what if I make the top surface flat? The air molecules exert a force in this direction on the surface which is equivalent to these two forces. And yes, now we have a force in vertical direction as well. And if this force is more than gravity force on the object, it will rise in the air and fly. And this force, in fact, increases with speed, because with higher speed, we throw out air molecules at a faster rate and they exert a higher force back. So, all we have to do is to make a shape like this and somehow find a way to move it faster in horizontal direction, and it will get lifted and start flying. Now, how to move it in horizontal direction? Well, the only thing from which it can take help is the air molecules which is available around it. The solution is to make something to hit and push the air molecules in this direction, so that in the process air molecules would push it back and it can get the movement that we need. We all have seen exhaust fans which throw air out. So if we fit an exhaust fan kind of a thing here and connect it to an engine and supply fuel to the engine to rotate it, then it will hit and push air molecules out in this direction, and we will get the required force and movement, and we can call it a propeller. Are we alright? Well, there is a small conflict here. This surface that we created for generating upward force also creates a horizontally retarding force which drags the vehicle and is actually acting against our propelling force, and it is rightly called drag. So, the size of the propeller and amount of fuel have to be increased to overcome this force, so we need to keep this force as small as possible. And another point, any air molecules hitting the top surface will impart a downward force which we don't want and need to minimize that. One way is to make molecules move faster here in this direction, so that we are telling them, hey, don't crowd, move fast and don't waste your time hitting this surface. So, let's optimize the shape to generate maximum upward force and minimum drag, and we get into a shape like this. See what is the net effect this shape has on air molecules. The flow was horizontal before it, air molecules are pushed down by it and are leaving it in downward direction. So, while being pushed down, air molecules would push the shape up, and thus an upward force or lift is created. This can fly, but we need to carry people also. So, in the center, we keep a compartment and attach this lift generating element with engines to both the sides of the compartment and call them wings. Larger the size of the wings, larger the lifting force, and more weight can be flown. Now, during takeoff, the plane is moving up and we need maximum lifting force, and during landing, the plane needs to come down and we need minimum force. To get these varying forces with the same wings, we put some adjustable elements to the wing to vary its shape during flight and call them elevons. And to steer the aeroplane where we want, we need to generate a side force. For that also, we depend on the surrounding air molecules and push the air to the side using these adjustable flaps and call them rudder. And now we have a controllable flying vehicle called aeroplane. And next time when you make a paper plane, keep these things in your mind and make it an excellent flying object. Thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Please do subscribe and support us and click the bell button to receive notifications about the future videos. Signing off, Science for Common Man.